Okay, so for example, off the top of my head, we'll go over some examples later, of course, but off the top of my head, there was a space company, SIDU, earlier in the year. Historically, a very bad company. They've done many reverse splits, I think 3 or 4. And so if you look at their historical chart from like 5 years ago, it shows it traded at like $3,000. That's not true. They just done reverse splits.
Yep.
So when I see the reverse splits right away in the historical chart, immediately I'm like, that's a red flag. Why would you reverse split it so much like this? And then I see, oh, they've raised cash a lot. And then I see, oh, so they've raised, I can do the math. I have a software that pulls up all their capital raises just right in front of me, very easy. And I add it all up. Oh, so they've done 200 million of offerings the past few years, and they have nothing to show for it. So they've raised $200 million. They have nothing to show for it. And then I read their latest PR at the time and said, oh, they just have this one little satellite for $1 million in the orbit. That's all they got for $200 million. This is a dubious company.
Yep.
And it's in space sector. So like now the space sector, like a rising tide lifts all boats. SpaceX was going to IPO at the later in the year, which it did already. And so it was riding that tide.
Right.
So I see all that dilution ready to go, and they are dumping and dump. Now the float I think is like 100 million, but it started out as like 3 million or 20 million. So they've just been using this wave of SpaceX to dilute, and raise money, and nothing to show for it. So that's part of my process. I look at I'll look to short it anytime it goes up a certain percentage on the day, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, perfect.
That's part of it.
And to get these stocks on your radar, is it a screening process? Do you have specific filters that you're looking for just to get the stock initially on your radar? And then, of course, you dive deeper, like you just said.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have scanners. I have 2 scanners, mainly Thinkorswim and Trade Ideas. Those are like my main 2. And I have them configured to where they alert me. I think one of them alerts me at I have several on Thinkorswim, but I like to look at the one that's like 100% up on Thinkorswim. Then on Trade Ideas, I have like 40, 50%. So anytime a stock jumps into that radar, I'll run into my process, my 9 core criteria. And then once it's kind of like, it's like a policeman, so short sellers are vigilante justice, the Batman, right? So the policeman sees a car with a broken taillight. Now it's like, all right, let's run the tag. Let's run this. Let me pull him over. Then you pull him over. The guy rolls on the window. It smells funky in there. And then he's like, wait a second. He sees a shiny object next to him. And then he's like, all right, get out of the car. And then they find a body in the trunk. So it's just like that. You pops on my radar, and I start going down the rabbit hole a little bit. And I got my process down for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I see all these red flags. And I'm like, all right, it's time. Because before they get on my radar, they might be going for a few days, actually.
Yeah.
They might be going for a few days. They're pumping it. And then after a certain point, I start to look for it as a short, and I'll start to look where it fits in the pattern, what inning are we in this baseball game? Because I don't want to be too early because they can squeeze. And I use my technical indicators and my pattern recognition, certain patterns, like liquidity traps. I know, because, it might be a short, but it still is not done yet. It's still not done.